Hi, I'm John Miller, Principal Bass of the Sarasota Orchestra. Join me as we explore the music of Brahms and Sibelius that will be featured on our third Masterworks concert of the season. First symphonies and concerti frequently hold special meaning to composers. These two firsts by Brahms and Sibelius are no exception. Brahms' Piano Concerto No. 1 was the composer's first orchestral work to survive his self-critical weeding. He literally burned anything that he considered less than perfect. Born out of personal emotional conflict, this concerto is both heroic and tragic. In this concerto of massive proportions, the piano and orchestra are true equals. Although Brahms wanted certain piano passages to stand out prominently, the orchestra has equal billing and often predominates in the presentation of musical ideas. The stormy opening with its foreboding sense of doom reflected Brahms' emotional response to the news of his friend Robert Schumann's attempted suicide and commitment to an asylum. All of the themes in the movement are ambiguous, and Brahms uses their flexibility to develop the tension. The rhapsodic adagio opens with a theme that spins out for over a minute and provides some emotional respite, clearly recalling the slow movements of Brahms' idol, Beethoven, whose Ninth Symphony Brahms had recently heard. The movement contains some beautiful duets for the clarinets and oboes. The rondo finale returns, reflective of the first movement, using the trill as a common element between the principal themes of both movements. Along with the trill, the horn calls hark back to a matching horn solo in the first movement, where it frames one of the piano's excursions. We move to Sibelius' First Symphony. This patriotic tribute to his homeland is both expansive and intimate. Sibelius was by no means a child prodigy. He began playing the piano at 9, didn't like it, and took up the violin at 14. Although he started composing at 10, Sibelius' ambition was to become a concert violinist, and throughout his life, he regretted not following that dream. Sibelius composed his first symphony in 1898 to immediate success. It was greatly influenced by Russian symphonic music, especially Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony, which Sibelius particularly admired. While the symphony still owes much to the romantics of the 19th century, it contains much that is new and foreshadows his future works. Sibelius sought to portray in music the stark, wintry landscape of his native country. His signature writing for woodwinds chills his orchestral palette and became a feature of all his music. The symphony opens with an introduction for solo clarinet over rumbling timpani that turns out to be a topic of the symphony and will be taken up again in the fourth movement. In the second movement, Sibelius develops a single pulsating theme, transforming it from its quiet beginning on muted strings into an agitated outburst by the full orchestra. It is replete with storm and stress, containing rapidly changing moods and tempi throughout. The third movement is a rowdy scherzo, its pounding theme introduced by the timpani with a contrasting gentle trio melody with the horns. It was common in the classical symphony to keep the final movement light and frothy in order to end on a cheerful note. Beginning with Beethoven's Ninth, however, composers tended to take up and ultimately resolve the weightier matters of the first movement in the finale. Sibelius' First follows this pattern. The fourth movement opens with the clarinet introduction from the first movement, now for full orchestra. It is the most dramatic movement, ending in a rousing crescendo that fades into a whisper pizzicato. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. I hope you join us in person for Masterworks 3 First.